Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Callers X360 channel. You guys gonna have to help me out here because I don't understand you guys. Okay? You guys do not understand what's going on with Sony. Okay? I already talked about this on the last video, so I'm not gonna repeat what I just said, but you guys did this to yourself, okay? There's a lot of like graphs that talk about this. So I'm gonna leave a end card over here or up here somewhere. Went over already. So it's not just 1 year that the physical and digital split was evident that it's going digital, and I also experienced retail to the point that when I went to Best Buy, it was depressing. Okay? It was depressing. The stores are so empty, it's not even funny. The only reason why people go to Best Buy today is to get physical electronics. Okay? So on top of that, some stores have already moved some of their games off the shelves. So much so, Target already eliminated a lot of their gaming electronics. That's what I see from their reports. So they did that. But on top of that, you guys, and I'm talking about YouTubers, okay? You guys go out there and protest. Okay, fine. Do that. But then I see YouTubers say, oh, this is a great opportunity for Xbox. I'm looking at you guys like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? They're not your savior. They're not the people that you want to tell hints and tips to do. Oh, Microsoft, go and say that you're gonna do physical disc, dude. No, two reasons. Number one, Sony is the sole manufacturer of Blu-rays. Okay? There is something called a Blu-ray consortium. Okay? There's a bunch of companies in that consortium, and most of the suppliers have already left that consortium. Okay? Sony is the last one in that consortium because they deliver Blu-rays to retailers all around the world. They're the ones where Blu-ray players, Blu-ray burners, Blu-ray game disc production, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation. We are on PlayStation 5 right now. So they are the ones that are holding the bag on that area. They're the ones that they're holding the bag, the purse. They're holding it. They're upholding it. Okay? So if Microsoft wants disc-based consoles, they have to sign with Sony. So cut the shit, guys. Cut the shit already. Cut the shit. You guys going to Microsoft and saying, oh, Microsoft, this would be the great opportunity to do Blu-ray disc production. Bro, they're not the guys that likes digital discs. They don't like it. They are basically the people that wanted digital distribution from day one. You got Xbox, okay? 2001. I don't know if you noticed this, but that was the first console to have like embedded digital distribution and Xbox Live service system. The headsets and the controller. That was them. And then they have this online infrastructure that allows you to connect to the internet with. I'm not fussed about that. What I'm trying to tell you guys is they started digital distribution of games from day one. You bought games on Xbox from day one. Xbox 360 is just an expansion of that. Xbox One, what Microsoft wanted to do with Xbox One is put Xbox One in Comcast stores nationwide. And looky here. With Xbox Series X price increases, guess what? Klarna partnered with Microsoft. Yeah. They have wanted to do this for a very long time. That Xbox One original VCR model, it was supposed to be embedded inside Comcast stores all around United States. So every time you buy Xbox One at Comcast or whatever Comcast became, today it's Xfinity, okay? So if you bought an Xbox One there, you would be on their payment plan, would have been on the leasing plan, the rental plan, okay? So get out of here with this shit and saying, oh, Microsoft is gonna save us. Well, they're doing the same shit Sony is trying to do. Okay? So quit the fucking bullshit. Okay? When I saw YouTubers go like, oh, this would be a great opportunity for Microsoft to do the same thing Sony did in 2014. Bro, they're the ones that started the whole shit. They are the ones who started it. I don't understand how you guys do not understand that. They started it. Okay? I don't understand also. I don't understand why these companies are trying to compete with each other for the race to the bottom. I don't understand that either. I don't understand. I will never understand that. If I'm a company and I want to sell more units of a console, I would say, fuck you to Microsoft. I would say, fuck you. Go do whatever the fuck you want. So that's my rant for the day, because this whole situation is so annoying that it makes the gaming industry look so stupid. And I'm not trying to say this as an insult to you guys, but you guys are not using your head. You guys are not connecting the dots. Okay? We all have been saying for years that this whole physical thing is going to go digital. We've been on this road for a long time, and you guys are not helping by not buying games at physical stores. You guys are not helping. Okay? I went out there and bought Resident Evil Requiem. It was very hard to get it, as a matter of fact. Okay? It was very hard to get it. Okay? But I did it. It's gonna cost me more money, but I'm not. And here's the thing that gets me. You guys do not understand that these games are $60, $60, $70, $80, and you guys gave their money to digital distribution, starting with Steam. You guys are not getting off that easy, bro. No, you're not. Microsoft is not getting off that easy. Those Xbox, those guys are not getting off that easy because they're part of the problem. PlayStation owners, there is a very big divide between physical people, which is me, and digital people, and they take digital distribution as a convenience. What they don't understand is that that store is basically a license. So at any point, if I wanted to buy anything on the store, it's gonna have to be below $50. Nothing more, nothing less. Unless you're talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 in 2028. Until that point, I will have to go digital because y'all keep buying stuff 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever price it is. And you guys keep going on Twitter and say, hey, stop doing this. No, this is your fault. Okay? The data says what it is. You can tell them they're lying, and something does not add up. You can say that, but when they see the data, they're gonna go like, this is gonna go to digital for at least some. I don't know what their mind is, but they're looking at the data and they're going like, I think that we need to pull the plug and do this right now before we go into next generation. I don't think it's a control thing. I really don't. I think this is a profit margin issue because when you buy a disc, okay? Every time you buy a disc, okay? Developer gets money, a percentage of that, okay? Publisher gets a percentage of that. The retailer comes in and pays that percentage. So the split between all these people are getting to Sony to the point of why are we printing these discs if they're not going to go to Best Buy, GameStop, Target, EB Games, these retailers, I don't think you guys understand what the problem is. And for them to get physical space of the hard copies, a part of that is a cost analysis on the part of the retailers. The retailers, they look at it and they say, we're not going to carry these. And Target already did that. Because every time you go to a Target and they see where you're going, they're going to count that in their consideration. So a lot of people are not going to the gaming section and buying games in bulk or in volumes. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think you understand what I'm saying, because you're fighting against a current that is congruent to what you're thinking and what the publisher and the manufacturer is thinking. Okay? Let me put it another way. Let me put this down and get over here. Hold on here. Let me get to stock. Okay? Lin Tao is part of Sony, and she is the corporate executive officer and chief financial officer. And the question was, it was a two-parter. Following up on the previous question, impact to the semiconductor business. Last time it took 3 months. This time it's expected to be relatively short time to resume to earthquake level operation. No, I don't think so. It's gonna take a little longer, but Sony is lying. They're trying to appease the investors, so that's why I'm saying that. I don't think you have the full scope yet. See, like I said, and I don't think you have stated monetary impact. Compared to the last time, the monetary impact would be less. Is that your outlook? Give us a quantitative response on that, please. Second, on about the game business, PS5, you're going to end the disc products. I think you made a comprehensive decision on that, and there are some movement against that. And some of the consumer organizations have criticized you, have sued you. How did you come to that decision, and how do you respond to that criticism? And then the second part, great question, by the way, because was this a decision that was necessary for the next generation game device, or was it intended for enhancing the margin? Was that a sales decision? And she said, okay, so her response is, thank you for the question. To address the first question about the semiconductor business impact of the earthquake, as I said earlier, we're checking various things, and it's difficult to estimate the overall impact. Will be resuming more quickly than before, and also the annual performance of semiconductor. We think the impact will not have a major impact. The major impact to the full year results for the semiconductors. Now, this is the second part, okay? PS5 ending disc production. The second question. On this point, we announced that January 2028 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing game discs 1.5 years ahead. We made this decision at this time. There are various reasons we made this decision. The biggest being that this digitalization of content overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. And it is. Okay? A lot of people push back on that and say, oh, some of those digital purchases are DLC. No, guys, no. Okay, no. Listen. Like I said, 60, 70, 80. Okay? They don't have to print the disc anymore. They don't have to print the paper anymore. They don't have to manufacture the boxes anymore. Okay? And then they don't have to pay retailers a portion of the reservation of the shelves. They don't have to pay that. They don't have to pay the publisher the percentage of the sales. They don't have to pay the game developers a portion of that sales. They don't have to pay the distributors for the percentage of that. And that. They said it here. We made this announcement at this time. There are various reasons we made this decision. Various reasons. That means the old guard of printing the discs is going away. They want to close the gap on the profit margin. Okay? Here's the second part. It's not just for PlayStation, but all kinds of content. Digitization is progressing. When we think about the future, we put a lot of thought and time. We cautiously considered this. We came to the conclusion we're going to cautiously move this forward to this decision. We have received various opinions. People have strong views, and we understand that community has put forth these views to us. Gamers are loved by many people. Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people. It's connected to people's fond memories. In many cases, we understand these emotions. We want to consider that in the future digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers is something that we would like to continue to explore. What they're talking about is the PlayStation Store. So that's what they're saying. But here's the thing, guys. It's profit margins, okay? I just think that you guys don't understand what is going on. They just mentioned the earthquake, okay? The whole month they have gone quiet, and it's because of the earthquake on July 28th. Right now is July 31st, which is a few days ago. So a lot of things are just hitting Sony at the same time, and they're just trying to be careful about their feedback. So let me switch to another story that we have here. This is Lin Tao, okay? So I'm gonna let her talk.
So PS5 ending disc production. The second question. So on this point, so we announced that January 2028 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing game discs. So 1.5 years ahead. So we made this announcement at this time. There are various reasons we made this decision. The biggest being that the digitalization of contents overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, but for all kinds of contents, digitalization is progressing. And so when we think about the future, and we put in a lot of thought and time, and we cautiously considered this, and we came to this conclusion, and we're going to cautiously move this forward. And to this decision, we have received various opinions, and people have strong views, and we understand that the community has put forth those views to us. Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people, and it's connected to people's fond memories in many cases. And so we understand those emotions. We want to consider that, and in the future digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers is something that we would like to continue to explore. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's Sony. Okay. So their stock went up in let me see. On July 31st, and then it dropped a little bit, and then it rebounded. So, in other words, they're gonna keep going. They're not gonna back down. This speaks volumes to what they want to do. Okay? I'm not excusing them. I'm not defending them. I love physical media just as much as anybody else, but you guys need to understand that you guys need to go out there and start buying physical media so that you guys can signal to them that you guys want it. Okay? Let me go to another story now. Okay. We'll focus on that later. Let me get over here. Capcom. Capcom just recorded their best year in a long time. So the strong statement here, the overall problem statement here is results. Quarter one results. Digital contents drove earnings, revenue and profit up year on year. Strong new and catalog title performance led to year-on-year growth in unit sales. So they're combining physical and digital in one place. I'm not gonna even worry about the rest of this problem statement. because I don't know what that means. But here it is. Operating margin 54, 58. So it's gone up 10%. Okay? Ordinary profit went 70%, 80%. To their plan, it's 10%, 10%. Okay? I'm going to go down here. Now, as you can see here, digital content, 55%, 91%, 44%, 39%, 6% overall. Now, it's important to mention this, 80% over here. Okay? Now, that's net sales. That means that's everything that they got, but operating profit is a little different. But net sales, that means everything that came inside Capcom. Operating profit is the split. So if I'm paying you something, I have to return that money back to you, or the profit margin is splitting up. So if I buy $70, I have to pay the publisher 10-20%. So that's what this operating profit is. So 49%, 97%. Now, to be fair, up here is 91% and 83%. Okay? 48%, 56%, 88%. Okay? Let me go down. Now, we get to the real one. Okay? Again, net sales. That means everything they accumulated. Okay? Package sales. These guys. Package sales. Okay? 84%. 207%. I don't know what this part means, but year on year, that's up a little bit. 73%. 17%. This means, look, 25.6. That means between last year and this year is 17%. So that means the sales of digital is going down. But if you look at 22, that means a few years ago, the sales was 80%. 23 is a little higher. And then in 24, it's a little higher. So by 25 and 26, that means it's going down. Okay? Digital sales, including digital license. Note how they said that. Okay? Digital license, 34%. That's in 22. 75%. That's 23. 38%. That's 24. Over here is 48%. That's 25. Digital license portion, 22. 280% compared to the other one, which is 207. I guess I forgot. Now it's 90%. Now in 24 it's 400%. That seems a bit high. That's 24. Okay, 25. 44%. Oops, sorry, 70%. Now, this has gone up 33%. Okay? Alright? So, the profit margin is 63 in 22, 65 in 23, 24 it was 59, and then in 25 60%, 67%. Okay, now the total here in 26 is 68. So profit went up. Okay, digital contents. Catalog sales. Okay. These numbers are a little higher than usual, but let's start with digital units, because catalog is like the past stuff, like your remakes, your re-releases, your arcade catalog, your, when I say arcade catalog, I'm talking about re-releases on game consoles like Steam, PlayStation 5, that kind of stuff. Okay? So digital units means today's games. Okay? So most of it is in the thousands. Okay? Most of it is 50 to 14%. So that means the sales are going up. PC is 50%, 5%, 20%, and then the last one is 67%. That's PC. Console, 12%, 19%, 28%, 34%. Now, up here is 49%. Over here is 64%. That means digital sales are going up. Okay? That's what they see. So, that's what they see. So, the next one is Sony is unlikely to reverse its decision on physical disc, as its digital transition has been in the works for some time. Okay? And they've already repurposed the um, this production with an AI data center, which is micro lens, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call that. I don't know what that's for, but that's what they did. Okay? Sony yesterday announced that starting in January 2028, the company will stop releasing games on physical disc. Many thought that enough criticism might convince Sony to reconsider its decision, but a new report suggests that this is extremely unlikely. Yesterday, Sony confirmed that it will stop releasing new PlayStation games on physical disc on January 28th. I'm going to move down because we already talked about that. So, the transition is already underway. According to reports from Austria, Sony has already been preparing for this transition behind the scenes for quite some time. The company's major production facility in Thigau, which currently manufactures PlayStation game discs, has already begun restructuring its operations ahead of the 2028 change. The plant currently produces around 600,000 discs every day, with PlayStation discs accounting for roughly half of that production. Once Sony stopped releasing new games on physical media, company officials expect that only a small portion of the factory's current disc-related work will remain. So it's sort of a restructuring, a stopgap, and a tweet is perfect for this. Hold on, let me see here. Hold up. I have that tweet here somewhere. Oh, dude, I have to redo this. I'll be right back in a second. Hello, welcome back. Here's the second part. So this tweet is by Rice Elliott. PlayStation going digital in 2028 is more of a stopgap than a strategy, I reckon. This is short-term margin harvesting during a rough period. It's PlayStation buying time. The bet is that today's cost squeeze is a phase and not a permanent state. Hopefully, the component crisis eases once the AI data center gold rush stops devouring the world's memory and storage supply. Hardware gets cheaper to make again, and the macro picture, interest rates, cost of living pressure on discretionary spend softens. Okay? Going disc-less keeps revenue per player going through that, propping up the numbers while the underlying economics are ugly, so that when conditions do normalize, PlayStation comes out the other side with margins intact, and the business is still growing. It's still growing, showing growth. It's a bridge across the bad years. The risk, of course, is that the bridge doesn't reach anywhere better. And another important bridge will also burn in the process. Budget conscious and younger players enter the console ecosystem through cheap pre-owned discs, then get locked in by buying digital DLC, subscribing to PlayStation Plus, and building a friends list they won't walk away from. Killing physical media boards up one of the cheapest doorways into PlayStation in a generation where consoles cost $700 or more and games hit $80. Kicking down the cheap ladder accelerates the audience split. Outside of the sports games, casuals and youngster will drift off to mobile, PC, and free to play even faster. Squeezing buyers into high margin digital channels is what platform holders do when underlying console economics are under pressure. Component inflation, ballooning AAA budgets, flat install bases, and post-pandemic readjustments are part of this. So no disc will show up revenues per player today, but the funnel feeding the platform today, tomorrow, shrinks. If the console hardware costs ever drop, this looks short-sighted. If they don't, it looks like a managed decline. Either way, it's a lever pulled under heavy pressure, and it's a new baseline in a world where the number needs to keep going up. Fire ongoing emoji over here. That's what is down here. So I like this tweet because this is exactly what's going on. Okay? Because you guys do not understand that. Let me put it another way. I don't like this part, but it's the truth. Because a lot of you players are still on PlayStation 4, and a lot of you are still using free-to-play games like Fortnite, and you wonder why everybody else is trying to chase the Fortnite business model. This is you guys. Okay? Next section in 1 second. Rice Elliott again? Here it is. So, this is an old post, but something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. Okay? This post was posted on... Let me go down. Look at that. Just 1 second. July 3rd, 2026. That's about a month ago, okay? So, you look at that. Let me go up. PlayStation's top games by copies sold in 2026, including some very topical physical game splits. Analytics company estimates. Alina Analytics, I don't know that company, so I'm sorry. FC 26 is number one in no small part thanks to World Cup fever currently sweeping the globe and the marketing around it. We won't flog that dead horse again. So there's a couple of new FC26 estimates. 12% of FC26 PlayStation copies sold this year were physical. 70%, 78% were PS5 copies. The rest, PS4. Okay? That means digital games. Okay? Resident Evil Requiem has sold 3.5 million copies on PS5 alone. About 27.8% physical. Capcom, for its part, has been gleefully unquiet about how much back catalog revenues it's making on PC. It calls this its flywheel-driven business model. So, in other words, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Requiem. So there's an attach rate to all of them. So you buy one, you get the other one. Okay? That's what they're talking about. Flywheel. With its no disc in... What? With its no disc in 28 decision, Sony wants a bigger piece of that flywheel. Come Resident Evil 10, PlayStation and Capcom will be splitting those back catalog revenues between them. Arc Raiders sold, which by the way is a digital game, by the way. Most of it, at least, I don't see physical. So, Arc Raiders sold 2.1 million copies, 80 million on PS5 this year. I'm not sure what that means, but whatever. Bringing its PS5 total to 4.7 million, all digital, no physical version. See, like I said, no physical version. 1.6 million of this year's 2.1 million came in the first 3 months, almost a million in January alone, when the game was still having its moment. Arc Raiders sold under 100,000 last month, even with its biggest PS5 discount to date, $30. So it's all about keeping the existing players engaged now. .007 First Light has shifted, not stirred. 2 million copies on PS5, its biggest platform by players, almost 60% in just over 2 months on the market. 007 has made about 142 million on PS5, more than Steam and Xbox put together. Around 21 of copies are physical. 21% of copies are physical. Okay? Crimson Desert, which launched on March 19, has sold 1.9 million copies on PlayStation 5, its secondary platform after Steam, with 19.9 of PS5 copies being physical. Over 1.5 of those PS5 copies sold across March and April. Last month, Crimson Desert sold about 112,000 copies, $8 million to date. Crimson Desert has generated 140 million gross on PS5. Units are dropping off, but that $70 price point is holding firm. Time for discount, I reckon. He goes on to bring up Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 just keeps selling on PS5, adding another 1.2 million copies this year, 55 million since its PS5 port last May, for a PS5 total of 6.2 million. It's still doing 150 to 250 a month, while the Steam version 2021 has sold more copies, 8.3 million. Regional pricing and discounting mean that PS5 version has already out-earned it by via copies sold, 340 million versus 314 million on Steam. The sequel, Forza Horizon 6, has sold 3.4 million on Steam, 120 million. I'm reading that wrong, sorry. 192 million. One can only imagine how much it made on PS5 day and date. It'll sell gangbusters when it hits PS5 later this year, and Xbox will be watching those numbers very closely. Ghosts of Yotei. Oh shit! Here we go again. Holding strong following its October 2025 launch, adding another 1.2 million copies, 80 million back catalog revenue this year. Around 35.4 of those were physical, the highest share in this list. And again, this kind of number PlayStation wants to curb for its first-party games from 2028. Monthly copies have been consistent all year, the mark of a game that just keeps selling, and it's only had one discount. So most of this year's copies are sold at full $70, a great sign for Yotei's ongoing run, and another reason PlayStation wants it to own the pricing more on the free stack. I think I'm hired bio. So as you can see, I'm gonna scroll down. As you can see, this right here represents digital. Digital, 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 digital. Physical is short on the other end. Okay, this is the whole sales. This is showing the split. Okay, so physical is shrinking. All right. I don't like it, but that's what it looks like. So, next one is, hold on one second. Hello, here it is. So, as you can see, released from November 10, 2020 on copies sold estimates. This is all, okay, So let me scroll back up. So it's overall, let me just focus on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has sold 4.2 million copies. PS5 leads with 2.9 million launched February 2024. Steam 1.1 January 2025. Xbox under 70,000 launched last month. The last installment will be launched simultaneously across PS5, Xbox, PC, and Switch 2. So, yeah. A lot of folks still buy physical games on PlayStation, but the type of games matters there. Okay? So, I'm not going to read all this, so I'll just point it out for you, okay? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we just talked about that. Autobot, that's Sony first party. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Spider-Man 2, Sony first party. Expedition 33 and player is secure. Here is Monster Hunter Wilds. Split Fiction. Black Flag. Resync. Madden 28. So, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, I'm going to close out this video with a last call to really empathize what the problem I have with this whole thing. Okay? You guys go out there and protest. You do that. But don't be out here saying Xbox is going to save you. Because they're doing exactly what Sony is doing. Okay? Let me put it this way. Xbox testing disc to digital feature that digitize a physical game collection. Article by Tom Warren. July 1st, 2026. About a month ago. Okay? Let me scroll down. Nope. See? I'm not going to do that. But my point is, this article is talking about taking your physical game and putting it into your Xbox Live account, which is a digital license to take your old physical game into a digital game. So tell me how Microsoft is going to save you. Tell me how Project Helix is going to save you. You're going to go out there and then you're going to pay $1,000 for your Xbox. Rumor is saying PlayStation is going to do $1,000 game console. And Sony themselves said, no, we're gonna try to keep the costs down. And you just heard the statements saying that they're trying to keep the cost down and they're trying to buy time to keep the cost down and wait their time to see if the AI boom will continue and bubble burst and with the price keep going down. So here's what grates me. Here's what confuses me. Why are you guys trying to help Microsoft when, in fact, they want to do exactly this? Explain to me. This is not a digital ownership thing, guys. This is trying to take your disk into a digital system. So what happens if you put your disk, your Xbox discs, in there and you can't use it anymore? You just had 2 server outages just recently. One is the Sony one, which is what this video is about. And the second one is Xbox. So what makes you think Microsoft cares? What makes you think Microsoft is any better? Okay? Final part of the video. Okay, so Xbox sold 24 million units worldwide. Proved many people wrong. Xbox 360 was launched in 2005 and went on to sell 84 million units worldwide. Xbox 360. It's their best-selling console of all time. Xbox One sold around 30 to 50 million units, depending on the reports that I've seen so far. Okay? Some reports. Some are saying 30, some are saying 50. Okay? Xbox Series so far has sold around 34 to 35 million units worldwide. Microsoft already laid out their next generation Xbox console plans via a court filing when they acquired Activision Blizzard King. So in there, they showed off a hybrid Xbox console. So you're gonna stream a Xbox game, or you're gonna do a digital license of that game. I don't know how it's gonna go, but that's what it's been rumored. Okay. Asher Sharman recently announced their next generation Xbox plans as Project Helix. However, during her press tours, she let out a few new information on how poorly Xbox is doing and what they're competing against. In my opinion, Microsoft is going to abandon console gaming. And here's a video that I did just recently. I'm going to put it up in the card here. You have my opinion already. So, Scotty Tidwell did like a response to my video. And that, he was trying to say, he continues to say I'm wrong, that I don't have the data, but you're not understanding the perspective of the console owner and the cell phone owner. And I'm gonna do a overall encompassing video on this very soon. This is a sequel now, so I'll end this video with this. To end this video, I'm asking you guys to go on my Twitter, follow me there, follow all my social media, link down there in the description. Like, subscribe, talk about College X360, share this video. Stay awesome. I'll see you guys later. Stay awesome. Just stay awesome, please.